Hello YouTube, it is your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be reviewing the 2007 psychological horror film written and directed by Michael Haneke. He remade his own film 10 years later from 1997, which is really interesting. I don't know why the hell my thing is in Spanish, but whatever. We're going to get into the critical reception, we're going to get into plot. This is a full spoiler review. If you don't know what happens in funny games, there's a couple twists and turns, so yeah, let's get into it. Man, the concept of this movie is just so crazy to me. I love this movie, by the way. I think it's really good. There's going to be people shitting on it. I'll address, I don't know. Well, let's get into the plot first. We'll talk about the review shit after. But George and Ann Farber, their son Georgie, and their dog Lucky arrive at their lake house. It's pretty much like a summer getaway place. Their next door neighbor Fred comes over with two young men, Paul and Peter, to help put the boat into the lake, though Fred is behaving strangely. He's a pretty weird fella. And once you get later into the film, you kind of realize why he's acting like this, obviously, but maybe this was a setup. I don't know. Dude, this movie's insane. I really like the movie, plus the cast is amazing. Naomi Watts, Tim Roth is in this movie. Two amazing actors, actresses, So while Ann is cooking, Peter visits and asks to borrow some eggs. It's not super out of the ordinary. I mean, you can go to your neighbor's house and ask for eggs. That's not something that happens nowadays normally. It's not really a normal thing, unless you're maybe in an apartment complex. But, yeah. He accidentally drops the eggs along with Ann's phone, which lands into the water-filled sink, and later on we'll figure out why he did that too. There's a lot of things that kind of tie together here. She gives him 4 more eggs and he leaves, but Lucky jumps on him, breaking the eggs. And obviously he wasn't very fucking happy with that because he wants these eggs. Whatever. He was just, honestly, again, later on in the film, when you're watching, you know that he was kind of asking for the dog to do this. I don't know. These guys are menaces, dude, by the way. These are probably some of the 2 craziest horror antagonist I've seen in a film in a while, man. These are some maniacal people. This is like Jigsaw level shit right here. So, to Ann's frustration, Paul implores her to test one of his golf clubs outside, and Peter requests more eggs. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is not what normal people do. Obviously, she's starting to get suspicious. Like, these kids are acting really weird, George arrives and tries to oust them, ultimately slapping Paul, losing his shit. And maybe if he didn't slap him, nothing would have happened. But I feel like, I don't know, these kids are just looking for problems, and if you kind of incite some shit, then they're gonna react and do what they did in this movie, of course. In retaliation, Peter breaks one of George's legs with the golf club. The 2 men then take the family hostage, and this is where, okay, you get a little into the film. It's like 20 minutes into the film, and you're like, why the hell is this a horror film? This doesn't really make sense. Some suspicious things start to happen, and then you're like, okay. Paul guides Ann on a hunt to find Lucky, whom he had killed with the golf club. Beat the fuck out of the dog. And obviously you're hearing the dog whimper as Georgie and his dad were working on the boat and shit. They're playing a game of hot and cold. Funny games. That's why it's called funny games, because they play games that lead to the deaths of the family members. Again, this is why I'm kind of saying it's like a Jigsaw type of situation. When their neighbors, the Thompsons, visit, Ann claims Paul and Peter are simply friends of theirs. They don't want to cause any problems. They don't want anyone to know about this, because that'd probably end even worse for them. After returning home, the Farbers are forced to participate in a number of sadistic games in order to stay alive, during which they put Georgie's head in a bag and ask Ann to strip naked to see if she has jelly rolls, whatever. It's Naomi Watts. You think she's going to have jelly rolls in 2007? I don't think so, man. I don't know what the hell you were thinking there, buddy. But, alright. Georgie is nearly suffocated until she complies. When released from the bag, Georgie escapes and goes to Fred's house, where he discovers bloody corpses. They're not going to be able to call for help because these 2 boys already took care of that for them. They're not getting help, There's no way out of this. They're trapped. These are fucking criminal masterminds we're talking about, these 2 dudes in this film. These twins, brothers, something. Meanwhile, Paul ties Ann up before going out to search for Georgie, leaving Peter to watch over the Farbers. Ann asks why they do not directly kill them, and Peter answers that they should not forget the fun of the games. They want to have fun doing this. They're fucking sick in the head. These are sick people. They want to have fun while they're killing people, right? When Peter goes to the kitchen to get eggs, Ann jumps to George, but George fails to untape her before Peter comes back, and Peter beats her and breaks the eggs again. It's all about eggs, huh? It all starts with a carton of eggs, doesn't it? And by now, all the eggs are fucking gone. You guys didn't want eggs. You wanted to fucking kill these people and take all their shit. That's what you wanted. Anne begs Peter to let them go, but he refuses. Georgie finds a shotgun in the house of Fred, and Paul tells him to go ahead and shoot him with it, but the gun fails to go off. I mean, that's kind of expected. This is a very satirical movie. A lot of things are kind of expected. There's a lot of, cliches here. Oh, the gun wasn't even loaded. Why would you even pick it up and threaten this dude? You know that. You really thought the weapon of his choice was just going to be left on the ground loaded? I mean, it's a kid. You're using the kid's innocence, I guess, to make a funny little satirical plot device, I guess. Paul returns him to the living room and gives the shotgun to Peter. And oh my goodness, this is when people start to die. The men play a new game saying whoever gets counted out will be shot. So they do like the eeny, meeny, miny, moe thing. They count. While Paul's in the kitchen getting something to eat, Georgie panics and runs, which results in Peter shooting and killing him. So they couldn't even finish the game because the kid was so stupid and he ran away. Well, he might have died anyway, but there's a 33% chance. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Paul berates Peter for being trigger happy, and the two men decide to briefly leave for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what they were doing. Maybe they were trying to go kill other people. It was kind of confusing here. I don't know why they did this in the movie. There was a really long break when there was a bunch of still shots, and the family, the husband and wife were trying to kind of recover from things. Yeah. George and Anne are grief-stricken over their loss, but they eventually resolve to survive. They didn't get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's kind of selfish that they're just leaving their son. Well, he's dead, but you get what I'm saying. Anne is able to free herself and flee the house while George desperately tries to make a call on the malfunctioning phone. He's trying to air dry it, get the water out of it, that sort of thing. Anne fails to find help, only to be recaptured by Peter and Paul, who bring her back to the house. So you think, okay, this is where they find the resolution and they're able to get away and it's a happy ending. This isn't a happy ending film, and I really like non-happy ending films because it kind of twists the common horror tropes on their heads, and I think it's amazing. So after stabbing George, he doesn't die, they just stab him. They tell Anne to say a prayer before making a choice for her husband. A painful and prolonged death with the little knife, or a quick and brutal death with the big shotgun. Now obviously the reasonable human being would choose the big shotgun. You'd rather die that way than to get stabbed to death. I mean, think about it. It'd probably take 30 stab wounds unless they're stabbing you in the heart. And most likely these people are going to try to capitalize on this death as much as possible. It's going to take 30 stabs to kill you, really, realistically. So, while Paul is talking, Anne seizes the shotgun on the table in front of her and kills Peter. This is a really cool thing they do in this film. You think they just kind of go in a different direction. You think that Anne's actually doing this and killing this guy, and the other twin doesn't really know what to say, but I don't know. So enraged, Paul grabs the shotgun and starts looking for the television remote. Upon finding it, he rewinds the last occurrences back to a moment before Anne grabs the shotgun, breaking the fourth wall. Such a cool little thing this movie does, It's really interesting. So on the do-over, whatever the fuck, really it's just them playing games and rewinding, and obviously that's where the film gets a little fake here, but yeah. Paul snatches the shotgun away before she can grab it and admonishes her, saying she is not allowed to break the rules. So Peter and Paul kill George and take Anne. I think they shot him. Bound and gagged out onto the family's boat. She is tied up, remember, on a boat. Oh my god. Anne tries to free herself, but is caught by Paul and Peter. Paul nonchalantly pushes her into the water to drown. She's like, ciao. He's like, ciao. Boom. Just pushes her. Obviously, she can't do anything about it. She's going to drown to death. You're fucking tight. Dude, that has got to be the most brutal way to die. My goodness. They knock on the door of the Thompsons' house and request some eggs. Paul glances at the camera with a smirk as we get the what is it called, that band? They played Boneheads or something at the end. Interesting stuff. But yeah, let's get into the critical reception / review. Now, this isn't necessarily a film that people look at as one of the best horror films ever, and I'm not going to look at it as such either. I think it is really good, though. I think it's super good. I didn't see the original. I hate this pimple on my face. I didn't see the original, so this is a very fresh concept in my mind. And it's really interesting, a really interesting choice to do a remake. Only, 10 years after the original. But I think it's great. There's a lot of mixed reviews. I don't know. this movie was made with great skill. I think this takes a lot of directorial work to really get this going. It's a very sadistic exercise. It gets the audience moving. It's a very interesting film. Keeps you on your heels. Do you expect everyone to die? I don't know if you do. I think this has kind of an unexpected ending for me. A lot of people say it's average, but I don't agree so. The film is unrelenting and brilliant. Funny Games is a truly great film, an incisive artistic triumph that doubles as a remarkably thrilling and unique cinematic experience. The film's it's very sour. It leaves you with a sour taste in your mouth. I think there's a lot of imagination that goes into making a movie like this. At least with the remake, Funny Games, Mr. Haneke shows a certain kinship with someone like Eli Roth, whose hostile movies have brought nothing but scorn from responsible critics. Not a lot of people liked it. It's kind of like some art house torture porn, if you want to put it that way. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that word on YouTube, but fuck it, we ball. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this movie. I know this is a super concise review section, but I'm out. I'm going to be posting this video by noon today, 10/5/2023. You guys know we do movie reviews every Wednesday and Thursday on this channel. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like me talking about movies, maybe we can do it more. Drake album coming tonight. I should be able to do a VPN type of thing and get that recorded. So I'm out.